There we go. The late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar, plus 5 minutes. We do this show every day, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins and everything else. Today is Sunday, but we didn't have any kind of updates yesterday, so I thought let's do a Sunday morning show just to tell people what's happening, because today we got a daily close, weekly close, monthly close, and we're also gonna look at dollar index and markets and what's up and what's not. I can tell you right off the bat, it does look bullish for some reason. Any kind of move towards downside is very, very weak, and what I would assume would break on the downside during normal down movements, during normal bearish markets, does not actually breaks down. It just goes down, hits something, and just bounces right back up again. So the difference between a bullish trend and a bearish trend is, bearish trend you can kind of count on that, the bad moves will continue downwards and will be pushed even more towards downwards, while when you are in an uptrend or some kind of bullish trend, the down moves just don't work. Like you break the patterns towards downside, just like it's the first support level, bam, right back up again, right? So there is that. Also, any kind of on small time frames, any kind of pullback towards the downside or in a bullish trend, it's just not working. It just anything that you think might, okay, this thing over here is very bad, it's gonna continue down, and it's not so bad. It's not so bad. So that's the big difference between being in a bearish trend and a bullish trend, because in a bearish trend, everything that wants to break down breaks down. In a bullish trend, it just doesn't do that. It just doesn't do that. How's everybody doing, chat? Let me just remove certain stuff from the screen up here. This, and this over here. There we go. Besides that, let's see who is in the chat. Captain, hi Captain, how you doing? John, good morning, John. M21 photo, dobro jutro majstore, dobro jutro, pozdrav. Ben, good morning, how you doing, man? Essence in the chat, Simply Human, NMR. I don't know what's happening, NMR. Let's check out who else is in the chat. There's only like 3 guys in the chat, literally 3 guys in the chat. 2 guys and a girl, Simply Kim Norge, god morgon Kim. Hvordan fant du med, man? Var det genom kryptovalutan Norge eller vad, huh? Knibas, good morning, how you doing, man? Chris is in the chat. In the coming week, Shiba will start with the launch of its own blockchain, Shibarium, and games first, a card game. How can this affect the price in the bear market, or do you think not much will happen? I think that might actually be good. You remember what happened with Binance when Binance launched Binance Chain? It just explodes. So yeah, it can definitely be very, very good for Shibarium if it manages to launch its own blockchain, and it does well, right? So all of these next Ponzi games will be launched on Shibarium. Say with crypto, morning man, how you doing? Larry Lou, morning boss, morning Larry, how you doing? Lazy is in the chat. How you doing, Lazy? Lol. Who more? Snood, Amar, Mark, Emmanuel, I'm here. DD, more on chat, but does not show properly. I changed from yeah, doesn't matter. Boom, yeah. Hi from Palestine, man, nice, very nice. Timir, good morning everyone, good morning. When dump back to range lows? Not quite sure, it looks bullish, man, looks bullish. AZTV, 27, then 17, maybe something like that, like up here, like 27, like, might be that. All in on BitConnect, BitConnect Rebirth. Oh man, this cough does not going away, guys. This cough is not going away. I've been having a cough for a week plus now, or something like that. So next week I'm gonna make an appointment for the doctor, just to check it out to see what it is. I'm guessing I got some kind of throat infection or something like that. I don't know, but it is putting me kind of off doing anything related with crypto, and that's why you've seen a lot less streams lately. And I just haven't been that active when it comes to crypto. It just kind of basically sucks, doing looking at charts and streaming while you're coughing. So there's that. Besides that, Oh man, sorry about that. Besides that, I'm good. You know. The spirit is okay, the weather is nice, you know, hanging around with, you know, with kids and stuff like that. So as soon as this thing, you know, goes away, you know, it's gonna be, you know, 100% on crypto and trading and stuff like that. So, you know, the 410 million challenge, I think it needs to wait a little bit. We're gonna try maybe do some trades today or something like that, but, you know, we're gonna see that. Besides that, you know, stuff. Edward is in the chat. Hi man, how you doing? Yeah, smash the like button. Okay, so let's see what's happening on Bitcoin. And like I said, told you in the start, like when stuff is bullish, thing just doesn't go down. And for example, here on Ethereum, yesterday I actually shorted Ethereum. I shorted Ethereum around 700. Let's go to 5-minute chart so you can see this over here nicely. I short, just do it like this up here. I shorted around here somewhere, you know, around 700, something like this. This was on a bigger pullback, but these things just does, you know, usually these things will just, you know, drop on downside. But right now it's not dropping on the side, it just kind of picks back up again. So if you look at this on a bigger time frame over here, you know, there was a this move up here is still not kind of not falling, but you know, it comes to these, you know, levels up here. It tries to break down, and in any kind of bearish scenario, this would just broken down and, you know, already smacked through. Look at the 4-hourly time frame up here, bearish engulfing candle down to the 20 moving average, still below 20 moving average up here. Looks like it's gonna break on the downside, but it's still holding up. Like this is a 4-hourly candle, like for 12 hours. For 12 hours we've been staying on this 20 moving average. It is just strongly holding to support levels, you know. But in any kind of bearish scenario, this would, you know, just, you know, already drop to downside. That doesn't, you know, need this long time to, you know, actually stay up there. So technically I am bullish because the price is actually keeping up. You can see over here also 4-hourly bearish candle up here on Bitcoin down to the 20 moving average right now, just, you know, slowly picking up. Maybe it will gonna have a bigger pullback towards the downside, but it is very, very strong. In any kind of, I'm telling you guys, in any kind of bearish scenario, this would already have broken on the downside. You know, and the fact that it's not doing that, it's giving me, you know, decent vibes that we are doing very nicely. On the daily time frame, you can see here that we are above all, you know, 10, 20, 50 moving average, you know, having small consolidation here, maybe some kind of pullback up here towards, you know, some kind of 22, 23 levels. Maybe we're gonna go higher up here, you know, to certain levels up here towards the upside, then on the downside, but it does look strong as well. The momentum is actually weakening. I'm gonna show you that the momentum is weakening, but before you do that, even on the 2-day time frame up here, you'll see right now that we are creating a higher highs and everything, and there is no divergence on the higher highs up here on the 2-day chart. There is no divergence. If you go to the daily time frame up here, there is divergence on the daily time frame. I think there is divergence on daily time frame. So this is the first, this is what I'm saying, that, you know, right now you can see the price is going towards the upside here, while the RSI is actually going towards the downside. So this is the first kind of first signs of the weakness right now on the chart. This is momentum losing the pace, and this might actually indicate that we are coming some kind of top, but it is it's still very, very strong. Now the RSI is losing momentum, but the MACD is also losing momentum towards the downside. You can see here we are no longer climbing towards upside. Right now we are having this moves towards downside. This is momentum losing momentum, right? So we are gaining higher highs, but with losing momentum. That's not very strongly bullish. Also on my indicator up here, we are climbing, but we are climbing with a losing momentum towards downside. You can see up here we have been climbing with a strong momentum towards the upside, but right now this momentum is losing speed. What does it mean when the momentum is losing speed? It doesn't have to mean much, but it does mean that, you know, we are coming to certain resistances that we need to, you know, consolidate, you know, see how long we can actually stay on this. It does not mean that you're going to go down to 12,000, 15,000 or whatever, right? It does not mean that, but it does mean that, you know, this you know, uptrend move that we've been having up here is right now coming to some kind of very, you know, the bullishness is kind of going a little bit out of the steam, so we might actually pull back a little bit towards downside. That said, it still looks strong. It still looks strong. Momentum is weakening, but it still looks strong. And over here, you know, so any kind of move toward downside, I cannot say that it's gonna go down to 20,000 or something like that, or 18,000, anything like that, but because I generally don't know how long, because it can just go down to something like, you know, 10 moving average on the first level of support. It just might bounce and continue towards upside again, because it does look actually strong. Any kind of move towards downside is getting you know, beaten a little bit up. You know, and technically over, you know, I would say that this should already have broken on the downside. We are also breaking down to support down here on the downside. You can see here we broke the support right back up above that support, you know, trying to keep above this 20 moving average. Maybe this down movement already, you know, played out, I don't know, but the moving averages are right now curving out. We already had a bearish engulfing candle toward below the moving averages, right now trying to get up, you know. And if we go back, I would say in any kind of bearish scenario, in any kind of bearish, you know, trend towards downside, what happens when you start doing these kind of moves? You go retest, you go below previous low down here, and then you dump, right? So if you see some kind of a move below 23,006 or something like that, below 23,006 towards downside over here, this should actually be very bad, and we should actually dump pretty heavily on the downside. But if you just see a slight move towards downside, something like this, you know, it's not actually dumping. This is actually a very, very strong move. So it looks like we need to move towards downside, but if you don't see a dump, if you just see a slight move towards downside, this might mean that this is going to be continuation towards upside eventually. Everything looks strong, guys. Everything looks strong, and it doesn't matter what kind of coins you are looking at on the daily time frame. They are above moving averages. They are getting ready. They are consolidating above here. It doesn't have any weakness. So the way I see it right now, trading and stuff like that, I see, you know, we should be trading towards upside. We should always be longing. Doesn't matter what. We should always be waiting for the pullbacks to long, you know, to long towards the upside, and not actually trying to short the tops. Shorting the tops is not actually advisable right now, because, you know, the trend did definitely change. We can still try to, you know, time the tops or something like that up here. You know, we can still try to time the, you know, tops up here, and we will definitely be shorting something, you know, if it gets extended towards some kind of 27, 26, 25 levels down here. If it gets extended towards these levels, we will definitely be looking for, you know, quick short or stuff like that. But right now down here, like, even if this move towards downside might be a nice short position or something like that, it still looks too strong, you know, and it can definitely do a you know, very quick move towards the upside again. Yeah, so Bitcoin does look nice. Altcoins do look nice. There are some altcoins that are looking, you know, worse than, you know, most of them, but, you know, most of the altcoins are actually looking nice. So I'm very bullish. Today is the daily close, so let's see how we are expecting this to actually close. And this looks on the daily time frame, it looks like we are on close above 10, 20, 50 moving average. There is no, you know, no big deal up here. If you down there at 23,004, we got a, you know, our first level of horizontal support down here on the daily time frame. We are still holding above that, so it would be nice to hold above that, you know, for the third day in a row. But besides that, there is no, what are you gonna say? There is no excitement about the daily close. Now the weekly close over here, there is a little bit excitement about that. As you know, last week we failed to get above 200 and the 10 moving average up here. You can see the 10 moving average was acting as a resistance over here, and we closed back below 200 moving average. So right now what we are hoping for is to, you know, close above 22,008 today. If we do that, we are technically above the 200 moving average again, which is very, very nice. But right above us, we got a 10 moving average right over here, which will actually next week it will actually be around the same level where the, because this is right now you know, going towards downside. So next week it will be around the same level where the 200 moving average is. So over here, what if we can stay above, you know, 22.9, 22.8, give or take, these levels down here. If we can right now stay today above these levels, this is going to be very, very bullish, because next week we're above 10 and the 200 moving average as well. This does not mean that we are going to drop straight down to zero over here again, or that we are gonna, you know, explode towards upside. It does not mean anything, but it does mean that bullishness is in the air. The bullishness is in the air. You can smell it. I cannot smell it because I start coughing, but the bullishness is in the air, and it's a very, very good move and bullish move towards the upside. But we can always, you know, move back down here a little bit over here, you know, fake out. But this is confirmation already of the bullishness, not of the price is gonna continue towards upside, but it's confirmation that there is bullishness in the market. I mean, this is a really hard feat to do, getting back above the 200 moving average and 10 moving average, and if you are able to do that, it's gonna be very, very good. On the bullish side, right, on bullish. So if you understand that we are getting above the 200 moving average, we are getting above the 10 moving average, and you know, that's bullishness. And then we're getting the super moon on the 13th of August, right? And super moon is also bullish, and you know, we are stacking the bullishness. It does look very, very good for the, you know, weeks and the months to come. Weeks and the months comes. So this over here, you know, it's playing very nicely, and you know, the best we can actually hope for is 22.8, 22.9, give or take, on the weekly. On the monthly, we got a monthly close to, right now as well, and what you're gonna see here that we did close monthly below the 50 moving average down here previous month, but right now we are coming right back above that, and that's right now something around 21.6, give or take. This looks like it just might hold as well. You know, a worst case scenario is that today we close below both of these levels over here. I don't see that just right now happening. The price is extremely bullish for some reason, and it looks good. So we're gonna get above the 50 moving average, above very important level of support. We're gonna get above 10 and 200 moving average on the weekly time frame. So it does look that bullishness is coming back. And also, if you look at a monthly time frame, you can see that 10-20 moving average up here, the resistance up here starts all the way up at you know, 35,000, 38,000, and then you know, 40,000 up here, all the way up to 42,000. So up in this area up here on the monthly time frame, that's where the you know, real resistance is. So technically down here below these levels on the monthly time frame, from over here to towards upside, something like 46% towards the upside, we technically don't have a resistance, guys. There might be some kind of trend line over here that's acting as a resistance. Right now over here, maybe something like this, give or take. Maybe there is also some kind of horizontal line up here that it might be inside here that there is acting as a resistance. But these big resistance levels, they are not, you know, they are all the way up at 35k. So right now, you know, because we smack through this over here, we can also go very, very fast up to something like 35, 40k towards upside on the big time frames, right? Because there is very, very little resistance up here when you look at it on the big time frames. On the weekly time frames, of course, there is a lot of resistance in between, but on the big time frames like monthly, there is like very weak resistance, and this gives me also hopium. Like again, getting above 10, 20, 200 moving average on the weekly, getting above the 50 moving average on the monthly, getting the bullishness showing up, getting the super moon on the 13th of August, you know, already had capitulation phase, already accumulation phase. Like everything is like, you know, the stars are aligning, guys. The stars are aligning, everything is looking good. So, you know, I'm definitely getting more and more bullish as the day goes. We'll definitely have some kind of moves towards downside, guys. I do not expect this, you know, to just go all the way up there. It can definitely do stuff like this over here and then go down, but you know, there will be always pullbacks. There will be always pullbacks, right? The pullbacks will always come. This is just nature of how this stuff more works. But don't let the FUD get to you. Don't let, you know, oh, Bitcoin is going to zero get to you, because you know, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. But it might happen, but you know, I don't think it's gonna happen. Besides the Bitcoin and altcoins right now, we can look at a DXY right now. There is a very important event happening on DXY. I'm gonna show you right now. There are two lines up here that we broken one, and right now we are broken using the second one for support. So these bottoms down here created this trend line over here that we broke on the downside. So this you know, tight trend towards upside got broken over here. But the very and the most important trend line that we have been looking for a long time, that needs to break. Sorry about that. That needs to break for us to actually, you know, start this move towards downside, is this trend line over here. This trend line needs to break towards downside. I've been looking at it for a while right now, and we are right now sitting on that line. So will this bounce again towards the upside? How will this go? Will this actually break on downside first, then do another big move towards the upside again, and then break to the downside, which actually can happen? Because if we do break this trend line towards downside, I'm expecting everything to explode a little bit towards the upside. Now the nature of these steep trend lines is that once you break them, you try to retest them towards the upside. So even though we get a nice move towards downside over here, we still might get a, you know, bigger move up here towards the upside again, which people will assume it's a very, very bearish move, which we would and we are going to say that it's actually very bullish, because this is a normal way how the trends actually confirm the resistance, and once the resistance is confirmed, it then goes down below the previous support, and you know, and basically it's a game over. Right? But we might have a, you know, a slight move towards downside, break the trend, which would be very good for the price of Bitcoin. Then we might have a, you know, bigger pullback towards the downside over here, and then the bull market starts once this actually starts crashing towards downside. So we are definitely following DXY right now. DXY sitting on a very important level of support. He still hasn't broken it towards downside, but you know, we gotta wait a little bit. But Bitcoin is doing very nicely. Stock markets right now, you can see up here there was some lines up here that I drew. We are breaking these lines towards upside. Of course, the most important line up here towards upside is still not broken, but I can definitely see right now this move go all the way up to the resistance up here, something like 22, 23. So the stock markets are doing well as well, guys. Stock markets are doing well as well. I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, inflation right now, they did the 0.75% increase in interest rates, right? And the stock market doesn't care anymore, because it's already priced in. They've already figured out what's gonna happen next. Market understand what's up there. I see that all of these, you know, cheap companies right now, Facebook, Netflix, you know, Snap, Twitter, you know, they just see cheap stuff. They just see sales all over the place. Twitter is not going anywhere, guys. Snap is not going anywhere. Netflix is not going anywhere. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, none of these big companies are going anywhere, guys. And Tesla is not going anywhere. So when you see that it's down by a huge amount, and you can already kind of price in what's gonna happen in, you know, coming months, you know, with the Fed, with interest, with the inflation, you know, people had the time to accumulate the ideas, to accumulate the thoughts about, you know, what's gonna happen next, and everything is right now priced in. And right now they've probably figured out, you know what, I mean, in the winter we can have some kind of lockdowns again. There might be war next year. You know, this inflation is already out of the roof, so already you know, people sold. This might come, that might come. So yeah, now it's time for a little bit pullback. You know, the fear is done. Let's you know, the fear is, you know, max. Let's pull back a little bit and get people out of the fear, and then we're gonna drop on the downside, right? So I think the markets are doing well as well, and everything is toward you know, right now move towards the upside. You can see also here on Dow Jones, you know, we still have, you know, momentum, you know, towards the upside up here a little bit more. Let me just draw it a little bit differently up here. Maybe something like this. We're getting very, very close to that. That top up here, maybe, give or take, but it does look nice. And especially if you start breaking this towards the upside, you might expect even bigger rally towards the upside. So we're gonna see how this actually plays out. But you know, nothing is right now saying that, you know, markets are in any way, shape or form, you know, in a bad move. Everything is oversold. I did a quick analysis on, you know, fundamental, some kind of analysis. I checked some kind of numbers on Coinbase, because Coinbase went from where is Coinbase up here? Stocks. Coinbase went from 350 or something like that down to 41. Right now is sitting down at 63. So we looked at the market cap, we looked at how much money they're making, and Coinbase basically had a capitulation phase over here, doing exactly things as Bitcoin is doing, accumulation phase down here at the bottom. ARK Invest, if you know who ARK Invest is, and the lady behind the ARK Invest, you know, the videos are, you know, shorts are popping up all over the YouTube with the girl. I always forget how what her name is. You know, and ARK Invest sold Coinbase down here at around 50 bucks, I think, down here at the bottom. They literally sold the bottom. I don't know why. I mean, they do have some kind of research to figure out how this is gonna play out and what's gonna happen. But you know, to me, this looks like definitely, you know, capitulation phase, accumulation phase right now, and you know, move towards the upside. So Coinbase chart is actually following Bitcoin chart, give or take, because Bitcoin is you know, Bitcoin and crypto is working in cycles, bullish, bearish cycle. You got a bull cycle, you got a bear cycle, and the same thing is gonna go with Coinbase, because during the bull cycle, all the numbers are gonna gonna go up, and during bear cycles all the numbers are gonna go down. And what's gonna happen with the chart when the bear cycle comes, you know, stuff goes down, right? So it's very normal process right now when Bitcoin and crypto is bottoming out. This is also very normal for Coinbase to bottom out. So a lot of guys with big money, they do see these, you know, these moves towards downside. They do see that, you know, everything is on sale. So the markets, I think they're gonna recover a little bit. How much? And then you know, are we gonna break these very, very important levels of resistance? Any questions, chat? Any question? Katie Wood usually do shit trades. Yeah, Katie Wood, that's her name. That's her name. Yeah, Katie Wood sold Coinbase down at the bottom, so I was like, eh, man, that's why when I actually read that she actually sold the Coinbase at the bottom, I was like, eh, why would you do that? I mean, if you are hodling during the time, you gotta be hodling, man. You gotta be hodling. So the thing that I figured actually out that ARK Invest should actually hire me as a technical advisor, so I can go to Katie Wood and tell her, do not sell the bottom, you know. Show the band. Pull back, pull up, then recession, then we fixed. Pull back, pull up, then recession, then we fixed. I don't know, man. I don't know. We are already in the recessions. Welcome to the recession, guys. Welcome to the recession. I'm also very bullish. Also, I've read somewhere that Shiba outperforms some coins like Merriman and Near. Drink some lemon for the coughs. I'm drinking lemon. I'm drinking salt. I'm drinking, you know, coughing syrup. I'm taking, you know, tablets for the throat. And tomorrow I'm gonna go, you know, make appointment at the doctor's because this is not going away. It's getting worse. So, you know, there's that. But also don't buy every local top. Yeah, Zcash is a solid trader. I don't know about Zcash, man. Hello, Mohammed. How you doing? Crypto Cartel. Good to be good. You will be millionaire soon. Nah, man. I don't want to be millionaire. I want to be a billionaire, man. Guys, when I was a kid, I was maybe, I don't know, 10 years old. And I want to be a millionaire. I really want to be a millionaire, and people are always like, oh my god, $1 million bucks, you know. I want to be a millionaire, right? But I no longer want to be a millionaire because everybody's a millionaire. Literally everybody's a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire, okay? Millionaires, like, it's very easy. It's very easy to become a millionaire. You buy a house, you got some kind of, you know, investment. You already kind of, you know. Okay, it's not as easy, but you know, it's very, you know, becoming a millionaire is very, you know, should be very easy. That's not the goal. It's always the goal to become the top 0.00 something, I don't know. You know, that's a billionaire, right? Because you tell somebody you're a millionaire, they're gonna be looking at, huh? But you tell somebody you're a billionaire, then you're like, oh. Because when I was 10 years old, and you know, we heard about these millionaires around, you know, they were like, oh. But you know, now millionaires, nobody cares. Billionaires, they do care. From 400 to a billion, yeah. Easy million. And the cry face, yeah. Bear flag on the daily bits. Yeah, we can actually talk about that, guys. The bear flag over here. What people are calling the bear flag. So we got this move towards downside over here. And we got right now this move towards upside, which people consider a bear flag. And right now people are saying that we are going to go down. What I'm going to tell you that patterns do not always play out, guys. Patterns do not always play out. Over here it was very, over here this bear pattern over here played out. And we were actually expecting it to play out because we are still bearish. We are already... we all just started the, you know, capitulation phase towards the downside. We are still very, very bearish, and this bear pattern over here, we had a very high, you know, probability to break towards the downside, right? So this bear pattern had a very high probability to break downside. On the other hand, the next bear flag pattern towards downside is a very, very low probability to break towards downside, because we had the capitulation, we had the bear market, we are having this pullback towards the upside. This can definitely break towards the upside, guys. Any kind of pattern doesn't mean whether that's bullish pattern or bearish pattern, can break to the both sides. We just saw a lot of rising wedges break towards the upside. In this little move up here, there was a couple of rising wedges here that actually broke towards the upside over here 2 times. Imagine a bearish pattern breaking towards the upside. Just because there is a bearish pattern, it does not mean it's gotta break towards the downside. That's why people a lot of time get it wrong. They see some kind of head and shoulders pattern, they think it's gonna go down, and it doesn't. It just bounces and goes towards the upside. Because in bull markets, in bullish trends, the stuff that's actually bearish does not actually play out. Like I just told you in the start of the video, I want to short Ethereum, but the matter of the fact is that in any kind of other situation beside right now, if I shorted that would have gone down, but stuff is just not going down. It goes down a little bit, hits any kind of support and bounces right back up again, right? It's bullish. And when you get these kind of bullish sentiments in the market, when you get bullish trends, the stuff that just doesn't break on downside. So yes, we do have a bear flag down here on the downside, but I have very, very little faith that this is gonna break on the downside. I have very, very little faith it's gonna break on the downside, so I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the probability, although it's a bear flag, now by the nature, anything that goes up towards the upside, by nature, this should break on the downside. And by nature, anything that goes down, this should break towards the upside. This is the nature of the markets. If you go up, you are more bearish. If you go down, you should be more bullish, right? Because these things have easier time to break towards the upside. But in strongly bearish trends, this actually breaks on the downside. And in strongly bullish trends, this actually breaks towards the upside, right? And right now, in a bullish trend up here, if this starts breaking the resistance up here at the top up here, it's just going to explode towards upside. I do not have that much faith that this is actually going to go down, play out the bear flag or anything like that. It maybe might fake out the bear flag up here and then continue towards upside. That can actually happen. But I do not have actually, any kind of fear that, we are going to go down to 12K or something like that because there is a bear flag on the charts. It's just not the way I see the markets right now. I analyze the charts. Remember, it's Sunday as well, so no volume is low. Yeah, volume is going to keep low today. I think the volume is going to be very, very low today because today is the daily, weekly, monthly close. And I think everybody is expecting certain levels, so they are, just trading in the range right now, keeping the levels steady just to close all of these 3 candles, where they want to close them, right? We are not making higher highs. We are actually making higher highs. Weekly and monthly close tonight should see some action. I don't think there will be a lot of action. It might be some, action just before the close, to move the price a little bit up or a little bit down to close below or above certain levels. But, the big volatility, I think that's going to hit after we actually close. So there's that. But chances are bigger to go down statistically. Yeah, you have to, Sebastian, you have to forget about the statistical chances, right? You have to analyze the market because statistical chance on a rising wedge towards downside is like 60-70%, right? But in a bull market, just like breaks towards the upside, right? So you have to analyze whether the trend is bullish, whether the trend is towards the upside. If the trend is both bullish, meaning if the sentiment is bullish and the trend is bullish, the probability to break to the downside is actually lower, even though by statistical and historical chances should break on the downside. Let me show you something. I've shown this before, but I can show you guys again. And the reason I'm not using, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar from the site Bukowski pattern site. Bukowski pattern site. A lot of people use this site, the patternsite.com. Over here, and what you're gonna see here, for example, chart patterns up there. He has all the patterns, guys, all the patterns. But you see, three trend tips. Let's see up here. Index patterns, flat running, bearish Carl V. I don't know. There's so many patterns up here. That's why everybody looks up this, this site for chart patterns and stuff like that, right? Bullish A, B, C, D correction. You use anything, doesn't matter what it is, right? Measuring gaps, crab, bearish or something like that, right? Let me see. This is there is Adam Ave double tops or something like that, right? So over here on this chart, you'll see some kind of shape, holy top price separation confirmation, and measurement price reversal, when the price reversal happens and stuff like that. It all also give you, if you want, there's a 6% chance the price will continue higher, right? He's giving you percentages about what kind of, you know, percentage chance this is gonna break towards upside and downside. Now the problem with percentages basing on statistical historical look is you do not take into consideration whether this happened in an uptrend, this happened in a in downtrend, did this happen with a bullish you know, enthusiasm, or did this happen with a bearish enthusiasm. So there is a lot of variables that are not actually incorporated in this 60% chance for this to actually happen or break out to this or that side, right? So if you're a bullish with a bullish sentiment, there is maybe, I don't know, I would say in a rising wedge, there is a 30% chance towards downside, while if you are in bearish trend, there is like 70% trend towards downside, right? So you always gotta look like what kind of sentiment is there in the market. Is the sentiment like very, very bearish towards downside, like everybody just selling, or is the sentiment actually very bullish and optimistic and you know, towards upside? And also you seeing that on the chart that price is moving towards upside direction, because the statistically, you know, what's gonna break up and down, you can throw it out the window. The only thing you have to know, you don't have to think about statistics, guys. You just have to think about this. If you have an uptrend, if you have an if you have any kind of chart that goes towards the upside, statistically there is more chance to break towards downside. If you have any kind of trend that goes towards the downside, statistically there is always more chance to break towards the upside, statistically, right? But we are not here, you are not math magicians over here. We're not trying to do math over here or statistics or try to figure out based on historical what's gonna happen. We're not creating, you know, bots with AI trying to trade for us or something like that. We are human beings. We can read emotions, so we're trying to read emotions, right? So if we have some kind of, you know, slow, price going down, but the overall trend is towards upside, overall sentiment is towards upside, we have to assume, if you have some kind of move towards upside up here, and the overall sentiment is towards upside. So even though statistically this says it's gonna go towards downside, we have to assume it's not gonna go to the downside. It's gonna go actually towards the upside. That's what I have to assume. So, you know, statistic, you know, my listic, I don't know what's after that. If you try coin is 50, 60, if you try coin is 50. There you go. Bullish, well, that's all depends on if the moon is in Sagittarius. So there is that. So yeah, this bear flag, I'm not really you know, afraid of the bear flag or anything like that. It's also very, very long bear flag over here. I mean, this was also a long bear flag as well. But this looks a lot more bad than actually this. This is like hopium. This is like enthusiasm. This is like new beginning. I don't know how to explain. This is so nice, and I actually like this move. This is slowly climbing, like, you know, faster up here, and I think we might have a pullback up here and, you know, do a big move towards upside and then go a little bit heavier on the downside. I think there is probability for a higher move towards downside up here than, you know, big move towards downside right now. Right now, I think we might pull a little bit, create a new higher low. That would be very nice. And, you know, create a new higher low, then break this, you know, towards the upside. Oh, look at that, did not even see that. Maybe we are creating a rising wedge, guys. Maybe we are creating a rising wedge up here. Nah, it's a very crappy rising wedge, but, you know, we take what we get, right? Maybe we are creating a rising wedge, so we might, you know, pull back some T, go up here, break this towards the upside, and BAM! 200k. At least 30k, I just showed you on the monthly time frame that there is a gap between where we are right now and 35k on the monthly time frame, so there is that. Tesla needs to deposit Tesla Bitcoin back and then we go up again. Yeah, exactly. By the way, Tesla and Elon sold Bitcoin at 30k or something like that, right? So maybe they are buying right now, because you do not know when they buy until the next in 3 months. You will know whether they bought Bitcoin down here at the bottom or not. I'm gonna take a bet right now and say that Elon Musk bought Bitcoin at 20k. Okay, so in 3 months time, when the quarterly reports comes out and Elon Musk comes out and says, guys, I bought Bitcoin at 20k again, he's gonna be trolling everybody so hard, because last time over here during capitulation he comes out, he sold, everybody panics, oh, it's game over, and then 3 months later they figure out, guys, right after the previous report he just bought again. But they tend to break down. Statistically, yeah, but we don't care about statistics because you know what happened. You know, because if you look at the statistic, what happened down here is somewhere, you know, in 2014. It really doesn't matter because you have to. There is a statistics doesn't take into account a lot of other variables that are very needed in any kind of analysis, right? Bullishness, trend movement, so forth, right? Market sentiment, and these things, if you take these things into account, you will see that statistically rising wedges break towards the upside in any kind of bullish markets. If you take statistically rising wedge, I'm gonna do guys, if somebody can do this, I would be very appreciative. I'm gonna bet that between these two, let's see, where is the bull start? Over here. In this space of time, between the September 4th to September 21, I am gonna bet that statistically rising wedges, if you can find all of the rising wedges on this chart over here, statistically rising wedges have more chance to break towards the upside than downside. I'm gonna take a bet on that. I do not know, but if anybody wanna take the challenge, figure out all the rising wedges in this chart over here and tell me how many of those rising wedges actually broke towards the downside, not towards the upside. You know, and I'm gonna bet that there is more rising wedges statistically breaking towards the upside. So also when you're saying something statistically breaks towards the upside, what are you actually looking at? You know, 200 years of history of Dow Jones, 50 years of S&P, 20 years you know, of Tesla. What kind of statistic are you pulling this out from, right? Been buying a little every dip. I don't see price getting any lower, unfortunately. By the way, did you look at the moon phase? Is the new moon on the chart? New moon is on the chart. And last, guys, before we end, we're gonna look at the moon over here just very quickly. Let's clean up the charts up here and go to the moon phases and clean up everything. Go to the daily time frame. Where is the moon phase? There we go. We got a new moon on the charts, guys. The thing that you have to know about the moon is not a technical indicator. Is sentiment indicator. What kind of sentiment? So when there is a new moon, we are very bearish. When there is a full moon, we are very bullish. So as you can see down up here, we are bearish sentiment, but down here we have bullish sentiment. Hey, but eventually take a start, Fadi. Okay. We have bearish sentiment, and this looks right now that we have bearish sentiment towards downside. So you know, people will assume that we are going to go down. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, bearish sentiment, you know, right now, even though we have a bearish moon, this should actually pull us towards downside. We got, you know, super moons on downside. We had capitulation phase, we had accumulation phase. The sentiment from other things are stronger than the new moon. So even this new moon up here might pull us a little bit down, but we are definitely, you know, continuing towards the upside. So this is a super moon, and this is a third, you know, super moon here at around 13 August. That's happening. That's gonna be very bullish. So right now we might have a slight pullback. There you go, brah. Close to the 13 August, and then once we get this super moon, and the super, you know, triple super moon complete pattern up here, and the sentiment becomes super bullish, we're just gonna explode, guys. We're just gonna explode. So I'm gonna say you gotta like 2 more weeks, guys. Between a week and 2 more weeks to accumulate, and then it's game over for anybody else. Now the accumulation phase, it should actually last something like 3 to 6 months, at least from, you know, my calculations. Right now we are at 43, so, you know, 3 to 6 months is 90 days. That's all the way up here, you know, until September or something like that. Will this actually be do something like that? You know, will this be accumulation phase, or you know, maybe this is just first stage of accumulation phase? I don't know how many stages accumulation phase has, so there is that. Trade like robots, no emotions. No, there should be some emotion. You think S&P final bottom out? Yeah, we looked at S&P, and I think it did. It still needs to break certain levels on the upside. Like, it did not break, like, let's just remove the moons over here for a second. It looks like it's very close to the bottom. This was the bottom, but it needs to break certain levels, you know, to continue having an option or something like that. But yeah, it, you know, down here we're already saying when I see also Bitcoin doing this, like this was the bottom over here, might have a pullback up here. Like if it goes back below these levels down here, it still has a support down here at something like 33,000. It's only gonna be bad if you break this trend over here. It's only gonna be bad if you break this trend over here. But yeah, for right now, like short term, the S&P and Dow Jones, I think, for example, have bottomed. I trust the moon, red moon. There you go, guys. Okay, I don't have much left to say. You know, I hope this update was enough for you guys. You know, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think it might go up. Everything is good, and then in the world of you know, finance. Kids is here. I gotta go, guys. Thanks for watching. Join KuCoin. Get gems while you can. You got like 2 more weeks, guys. 2 more weeks. Bye bye. Nej, jag är färdig. Vill du säga hej? Säg hej.
Hej, jag är lika liten.
Säg vad du heter.
Jag heter Mikaela.